Hello there everyone, I hope that you are all doing well. This is Miss Khalfi, your teacher of research methodology for this year. In this short video, I'll be trying to help you and guide you on the way to revise for your exam and the things to focus on and how to focus on some of the important aspects. I just need to highlight something before we start delving into the lessons points. I need you to always remember that this module is not something that you study and forget as soon as the test or exam are finished. It is an ongoing process that you should struggle at maintaining and mastering. Writing at your level of master's degree is paramount. Before being able to write anything or even a short paragraph in your own style, you need to know certain rules related to writing. Research methodology, for example, is a systematic module that is important, and it helps you construct better format of research. The format here does not include the form only, but it also includes the content. As you are trained to write and rewrite paragraphs, essays, and long compositions, for example, you are perfecting your style of writing. You are learning coherence and cohesion. So the points that we are going to cover and we are covering in the classroom in every session are not to be forgotten but used effectively and applied practically. The first thing I will talk about in this short video, hopefully, is the way of narrowing a topic after choosing any theme, any subject to work on. Unfortunately, because of the shortage of time, we couldn't give you more activities to practice on. But generally, the examples that I have provided and the practice sheet that we have seen and also the test should be to some extent sufficient for you. Narrowing a topic is very important, but it is also remarkable and approachable to bear in mind that in order for you to narrow a topic effectively, you should be aware of certain movements and writers, and remember which writer belongs to which era. And this is why I have always reminded you of this important point. It is always difficult for you, like I have seen in the classroom or on the test day, that it was difficult for you to narrow the topic because you are not familiar with the writers and the movement, and you don't know what era is significant and a given movement, or maybe a theory, or even a writer or a poet. The examples that we have provided in the classroom were somehow practiced. Because of the shortage of time today, I could not provide you with videos where I can project the PowerPoint or the PDF that you have with you here. What I need you to do is to follow with me on the PDF so that you can understand and find a way into what I am trying to explain here. The activity that we have given and which is presented to you in the PDF deals with 4 topics that I have asked you to narrow down. The first example that you have is love and hate in the 19th century American poetry. And of course I'll choose another topic, which is religious or religion in the Renaissance poetry. The first example, which is love and hate. Of course, love and hate are both themes that can be easily comprehended or worked on. You can either, for example, work on both of them or one of them. They are clear and precise. The problem with this suggested topic is the time frame, the 19th century American poetry. When we say 19th century American poetry, it is very vague for the researcher and for the reader. It is impossible for us to be able to cover the entire 19th century American poetry. So, in order to facilitate for you this, I need you to always try to highlight, underline the keywords that you see significant and the other keywords that you think that they need change or narrowing. The 19th century American poetry can be reduced to suggesting one poet from the 19th century era in America. For example, are we going to work on Walt Whitman, Emily Dickinson, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Edgar Allan Poe, for example? We need to narrow this down by mentioning the name of the poet or the poem to work on, because mentioning the name of the poet is one phase, is one part of the equation. You need another thing in order for you to narrow and specify your topic. What poems are we going to work on? Are we going to work on all the poems of Edgar Allan Poe, for example, or only the poems that include the theme of hate and love? Also, why have you chosen these poems in particular? Of course, this will be discussed and better highlighted in the significance of the study. So our title can be transformed from Love and Hate in the 19th century American poetry into Love and Hate in the selected poems of Edgar Allan Poe, or the selected poems of Emily Dickinson. If you want to be more specific, you can name the titles of the poems that you choose. 2 or 3 poems are enough. You cannot work on the entire collection due to time and due to the inability for you to cover. Remember that we always have limitations in research. The second example here is the Renaissance religious poetry. When we say religion in the Renaissance poetry, you need to ask yourselves, of course, after underlining the keywords Renaissance, poetry, and religion, you need to ask yourselves, what is the religious aspect that I need to highlight, to investigate, to work on? Here, you can say, for example, religious ideals, religious interpretations, religious representations, religious themes, religious satire, things like this, in order for you to specify yourself, because religion is a very broad term. Renaissance poetry now is also very, very large. You need to limit it. What do you mean by Renaissance? Is it the British Renaissance? Is it the French Renaissance? The Italian one? And also, what period are you going to deal with as far as Renaissance or any Renaissance is concerned? For example, a British Renaissance lasted or started, if I may say, from 1590 to almost 1660 or 1650. It is impossible for us to cover a period of almost 80 years or 100 years. We need to limit ourselves. In order to do this, you can select a poet or a writer or a playwright from that period. You can say religious representations in the poetry of John Donne, in the selected poems of John Milton, things like this. The more you specify, the better. And this is how the process goes. It needs practice, and it needs you to be somehow clever enough and sly in order for you to be able to narrow down things. It is not complicated, it just needs practice. Well, this is all for now for this first video. I hope you find this useful. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to contact my email before the day of the exam, please, or leave a comment in the comment section below. Thank you. Good luck on the exam day, and salam.